I yield back to
Mr. Goodman, would you yield? Would you yield?
I'll yield to the chairman.
Yeah, thank you, gentlemen, for yielding. Sheriff, on day one, President Biden terminated the national emergency declaration on the southwest border. Number two, on day one, he halted construction of the border wall. Number three, on day one, he revoked President Trump's immigration enforcement priorities. Number four, on day one, he paused deportations. And number five, he moved to terminate the asylum cooperative agreements with Northern Triangle countries. And number six, he suspended enrollments in the Remain in Mexico program. Did any of those things factor into the conditions you described in your opening statement, into this influx of people coming to our border? Did any of those six things that President Biden did on day one contribute to the situation we now find ourselves in?
Mr. Chairman, it did, and that's all of it.
Every single one?
Every one of them changed. We went from what I consider probably my 38-year career, one of the most manageable borders, and that was also shared.
I just want to be clear what you said, Sheriff. The most manageable border we had in your 38 years in law enforcement was 2 years ago.
Yes, it was.
Okay. And then on day one, President Biden terminates the national emergency declaration on the southwest border. And that's contributed to the problem we now have, right?
Yes, sir.
And he halted construction on the wall. Is that contributing to the problem we now have?
Yes, my border's frozen in time in my county.
Yep. And he revoked President Trump's immigration enforcement priorities. Does that contribute to the problem we now see?
It has.
Including the fentanyl getting to communities and harming people like Mr. Dunn's son.
Yes.
Not harming, taking his life. He paused deportations. Is that hurting? This is what Mr. Roy was just talking about.
It's all a collective message that the border is open.
Terminated the asylum cooperative agreements and suspended enrollments in the Remain in Mexico program. That's contributing to the situation we now have.
Yes.
All right, so this idea that if we just give more agents, build more wall, put in the roads, more drones, more border security, which I'm all for, that's going to solve. That is not going to solve it until you go back to these policies. Is that right?
That is correct. And Mr. Sheriff, if I could add one more thing is, before President Biden took office, myself and several other sheriffs on behalf of national sheriffs met with President Biden's transition team and went over all the current plans on the border to include what was working. I was told by his transition team, Sheriff, we appreciate all you're doing. They were very optimistic that things were doing well on the border. The day he took over, that all changed.
Now, that's important. What you just said, and I know I'm over time, and I'm going to go to the gentleman from Colorado, but what you just said is important because you basically told the Biden administration, do this, and we will have a secure border, the most secure in your 38 years of experience in law enforcement, and they said basically thanks, but no thanks. Is that right?
They actually were very complimentary. I was shocked on day one.
Even worse.
Yes, I was shocked. They were very, thank you, Sheriff, for everything you're doing. Day one, when I saw that, I was disappointed and shocked.
Yeah. Now you have the gentleman from Colorado, Mr. Negus.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr.